corporate Democrat Nancy Pelosi has been pushing back against the calls to replace her after the devastating losses incurred by the Democratic Party, not just in 2016, but during the presidency of Barack Obama. See, of course, the Democrats have had huge losses, and we've detailed them before, but I'm going to go back over them a little bit later. Now, here in her argument, you're going to see just the amount of hubris she has in defending her position and exactly why she's doing so. Now, she told reporters at her weekly news conference that she's not at all interested in stepping aside, as some of the Democrats have been calling for. Now, she says, quote, "I respect any opinion that my members have, but my decision about how long I stay is not up to them. My caucus is overwhelmingly supportive of me." Well, are they? Well, while she was doing that press conference, we'll get back to that in a minute, there was a group of congressmen that were meeting secretly in order to talk about replacing her. Now, some of these members, one of them is Kathleen Rice, as well as Seth Moulton, have been saying, "There are many more people here today, even from November, who are much more vocal, who have approached us and said, 'I'm done. We need to move forward, and we need to get a new leadership team in place.'" So, hey, we're done with Nancy Pelosi. She's, her leadership has been almost non-existent. We have lost so much under Nancy. We got to get some new leadership. Now, this is, of course, Representative Kathleen Rice. Now, Seth Moulton said the ultimate goal would have new leadership and team in place before the 2018 election campaign heats up. Now, he said the takeaway from the meeting is that we want to win again in 2018. Now, he also pointed out that there's a shift in the caucus since Pelosi had been reelected House leader at the beginning of the Trump presidency. She said, I think the people see the stakes more clearly. Now, a lot of this is coming from the recent loss of milquetoast candidate Jon Ossoff. Now, look, we talked about here all the failings of his campaign. He ran as a milquetoast centrist. He didn't really offer much of a vision, ran against Medicare for all. And, well, unsurprisingly, when you run as Republican light, you usually get crushed by a Republican. You don't win elections if you're running as, hey, the other guy is more right-wing than I am. I'm still right-wing. Well, then why would we want to pick you? And progressives certainly wouldn't want to pick you. If you had the choice between shit and worse shit, well, then what are you going to do? You don't really have anything to pick. So, and look, I'm sure Jon Ossoff is a nice guy, but again, he ran a terrible campaign based on nothing. So, and that, of course, all that money, millions of dollars, over $30 million, went to Ossoff's campaign. It was one of the most expensive, it might have actually been the most expensive race that we've seen. And yet Karen Handel, somebody who's against a living wage, just walked right away. She won it. She actually did very well, won by 6 points. Now, Pelosi and some of the corporate Democrats are like, well, it's because we couldn't win in that area. But there's been a contingent of Democrats that are saying, no, that race was winnable. Hillary Clinton, like, Jon Ossoff underperformed Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton almost won that district by 1 point. Trump picked it up by one single point. We could have won that race, but since we ran such a shitty candidate and a shitty campaign, thanks to the leadership of Nancy Pelosi, we didn't win. So that's one of the reasons that they're trying to replace Pelosi. Now, I also want to point out that the fact that we need a shift and that we've seen so many losses with the Democrats, I wonder if it's because the Democrats are now less popular than Donald Trump. Or the fact that Sanders' unity tour. Yes, Bernie Sanders had a unity tour with Tom Perez. Well, how'd that go? Well, it failed miserably. Now, Bernie Sanders, it's not because Bernie Sanders was unpopular. No. Whenever he went somewhere, he had enthusiastic crowds cheering for him whenever he'd show up. As soon as Tom Perez got on stage, boo! They don't like Tom Perez. They don't like the establishment. So, again, Unity Tour did not do very well. Okay? It turns out people are not in favor of corporate centrist Democrats. Now, again, I don't know if these House Democrats agree or just thinking, hey, let's put somebody else. They're really attacking Nancy Pelosi all the time. She's not very popular. Let's replace her with another corporate Democrat who can still raise money. And see, because that's the most important thing, as you're going to see. Now, I don't know, but I do know if they go in that direction, there's not going to be any change. You replace one corporate hack with another corporate hack, you're going to get the same results. Again, the voters, the American people are tired of corporate candidates. They're especially tired of corporate Democrats like Nancy Pelosi. They want somebody different. They actually want someone who represents them and not the wealthy donors. Now, you might be aware, you might not be aware, that there's a progressive out there that is actually looking to unseat Nancy Pelosi. And unfortunately, he's not getting a lot of press. And was conveniently left out of this article in Politico. Now, they wrote, despite the renewed noise surrounding Pelosi's leadership, no one within the caucus has stepped forward to challenge her, and an actual coup against the longtime leader is a long shot. Now, look, as far as somebody looking to replace Nancy Pelosi, as far as running for office, well, you have Stephen Jaffe. Now, Stephen Jaffe, he's actually going to be running against Nancy Pelosi in the primary. Now, he was recently interviewed on the Jimmy Dore show, so I urge you to check that out. He's a very progressive guy, so they kind of ignore his challenge. Like, no, there's nobody there that's going to challenge her whatsoever. Okay. Now, anyway, during her news conference, Pelosi had boasted about her effectiveness as a leader, even though the Democrats lost their majority in 2010 under her watch and have never come close to winning it back. Now, again, part of that can be blamed on gerrymandering. Once the Republicans took over in 2010, they're like, let's gerrymander all the fucking districts so that even if more people vote for Democrats, well, Republicans will still win because we've gerrymandered the hell out of these districts. So that's a fair point if you want to bring that up. And it's definitely a problem that's getting in the way of Democrats actually winning offices back. But you also have a lack of a clear progressive message, clear leadership. Now, the Democrats have lost incredibly badly since 2010, as I keep saying. First, they lost, a lot of seats in state legislatures. In fact, we have a majority of states now that are under full Republican control. So, Democrats lost badly at the state level. Then they lost at the House level in 2010. And then later on in 2014, they lost the Senate. And now, they lost the presidency to Donald Trump. Yet she says in her press conference, quote, I'm a master legislator. I'm a strategic, politically astute leader. Really? What kind of strategy is she employing? Give the Republicans control over everything? So that, the donors can get everything they want? Maybe. I mean, again, you have Republicans and Democrats being bankrolled by the same people. And actually, that tends to be very, very close to the truth if you want to say she just wants to lose. Democrats are paid to lose. She then said, quote, my leadership is recognized by many around the country. That is why I am able to attract the financial support that I do, which is essential to our election, I am sad to say. See, what she means is that it's about the donors. She's really good at getting donations from wealthy people across the country. That's what she's good at. Wealthy Democratic donors who are, by the way, now helping Donald Trump. They're helping him eliminate banking regulations. They're helping him try to overturn net neutrality with Ajit Pai. And they're also helping him try to bring back and solidify the role of private prisons. Those are the Democratic donors that Nancy Pelosi is working for. That's the people that she's bragging about. I get all their financial support. Why would you want to get rid of me when I can bring you all that private prison money? All that, large AT&T Verizon money. That's who she's bragging about. That's why she says, I'm so good at, I am a master tactician. I'm strategic. I'm strategic at begging, strategically, money from donors. That's what I'm good at. And by the way, she says that we're getting all this money. We have to beg money from the donors. See, that's a trick. You realize that. Because the Democrats, they don't have to beg money from giant donors anymore. Bernie Sanders showed you how to fund a campaign and do so with the donations from the people, not from giant multinational corporations. Now, of course, in order to get those donations, you actually have to have a record to run on of actually serving the people and not just the giant wealthy donors. Now, imagine that. It's a crazy idea, serving the people. But how are we supposed to win elections, Chef, if we can't get these millions of dollars from our wealthy donors? Hey, it's called populism. Maybe you should try it. Just saying. And it turns out a lot of people like it. A lot of voters like it when you actually support things that might actually help them in their daily lives. Like, for example, being in favor of a living wage or being in favor of single-payer health care, which now a majority of Americans and now a huge majority of Democrats and even 41% of Republicans are in favor of. But not Nancy. Nancy thinks that America is just not ready for single payer. No, guys. America's not ready. We should try it in the States. Oh, by the way, California was trying to do it. And then, of course, the corporations came in. They lobbied the hell out of Anthony Rendon, who was the state assembly speaker. And, of course, Rendon, Democrat, said, you know what? Oh, we're just not ready for the single payer. I mean, I'm a personal supporter of it. But since I got all this money from these corporations, I mean, since the bill is incomplete, I have to table it forever. That's what big money does in our elections, man. No, here's what they're saying. America's not ready for single payer yet because we haven't got our money. We've been promised millions and millions of dollars of donations from health insurance companies and other giant corporations. Now, I got to make sure that we take all that donor money first before we can do single payer. Again, that's what it's all about. See, these people, win or lose, they still get paid. That's why the Democrats are paid to lose. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. They still get a paycheck. And that's the problem. Now, look, that kind of politics, it doesn't fly anymore, okay, with the American people. Raising millions and millions of dollars from corporations in order to pay consultants and buy these television ads. It's not going to work anymore. That doesn't win. Giving lip service and platitude to the voters doesn't win elections anymore. It's not a winning strategy. Going further to the right in order to please your donors, that is not going to win anymore, okay? And any Democrat that does not understand this new world that we're living in, it's got to go. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.